Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I am going to go over my experience at my very first card party. So this is the third year that Deep Pocket Monsters has hosted a card party. The first 2 years he's invited me out, and it just didn't really line up with the timeline that I had based off when it was coming through during the summer. But this year it did, and I also brought my family with me. So I want you guys to stay tuned to the whole video. It's a little bit longer. However, at the very end, I've got a big announcement that I'm going to be making, as well as some giveaway details that you guys are not going to want to miss. So what is Card Party? So if you look here on the screen, Card Party is just basically an event hosted by Deep Pocket Monster Pat Flynn, if you guys know who he is. I think he was inspired at Leonhardt's pop-up shop to hold this kind of a similar event every year, except for the one that I just went to, it was huge. It was crazy. So there was lots of creators there. There was a lot of vendors there. I believe it was about 800 vendors or so. I want to say that from what I was told, it was about twice the amount of vendors as you would see at a Collecticon, which is already massive. Especially for those of you who've ever been to one, it's just a lot going on. Now, at this, there was also big sponsors there. There was like eBay, Heritage, there was pack giveaways. There was a lot to do for the kids. It was just a lot of fun. It was in Tampa, and they're also going to have a second card party this year. So they've got an East and a West up in Seattle. Now, whether or not I'm going to that one is up in the air. At first, when I went, it was a definite no. I was not going to do both of them this year. However, the family enjoyed it so much, I may be going to Seattle now. So we'll just have to see on that front. But there was a lot that went on during the entire weekend. I'm not going to be able to cover everything. However, I'm sure that Pat is going to have some kind of video or some recap stuff and highlights and things. And there's going to be lots of other creators. Many of the creators that you see right here are going to be doing videos or have already put out videos about Card Party itself. And so I know that I'm going to miss plenty of people. But when it says it's unlike any other event, I agree. It is not the same as a Collecticon. It is definitely, believe me, there are plenty of vendors, plenty of buying, selling, trading, but it is very kid-oriented. There's lots to do for everybody. It's not just for the person who's going there wanting to buy a card, complete a set, do trades. There's just so much going on. And so, like, if you look at these events here, meet your favorite creators. There was a meet and greet. I did participate in that. Mine was a little bit of crickets. I'll show you guys what kind of went on there, but it actually went much better than what I'm going to indicate. But there were breaks on the stage where stuff was given away. There was a tournament. I participated in the creator tournament. I'll go over that as well. And there were plenty of activities. My kids love the art room. The trade nights were insane. They carried over from the actual building itself into the hotel, and basically anywhere that you looked that was close to this convention center. There were people trading, had cards out. It was kind of nuts. There were lots of prizes. There were games. That was a lot of fun. Definitely people were buying, selling, and trading. The floor, there was so many places there. In 3 days, I could not get to everybody. I probably didn't even get to a third of the vendors. However, there was space between the tables. I love that. If Pat gets another place up in Seattle, or I guess everything's already lined up now, I would continue to emphasize the space that he had. It definitely did not make me feel crowded or anxious so much as I do normally at a convention. So I thought that was wonderful. Fun for all ages. I completely agree. I think you could have come there at any age and there was something for you to do, a way for you to help out, participate, or engage with Pokemon. And it was a unique experience for me. So like all of these, I agree with all this right here. Like I said, I was set on not going to just I was only going to go to Orlando or the Tampa. I was not going to go to the Vegas one, but I brought my whole family with me, and I tell you what, it was such a blessing. It was really nice. All right, so I want to, again, if you guys, I'm sure everyone here knows who Deep Pocket Monster is, but if not, Pat Flynn, here's his YouTube page. He puts out like super crazy quality videos. You can see like he put out a video 6 days ago. It's got 1 million views. Who else is going to do that? 1.1 million for 1 month ago, 1.7, 3.3. So it looks like pretty much every video he's putting out gets a million views. He's up to 1.72 million views with 283 videos. Just incredible. The guy's super nice. Anytime I've ever interacted with Pat, I can't say enough good things about him, and his the quality that he just brings to Pokemon. I mean, it's just next level. Friday, we've got Card Party. So this is what was given to, I believe, the gold members. The way it worked for me, Pat, he was generous enough to give tickets to my family, and so we couldn't show up until, I believe, Friday around 10 or so. There was a separate room for creators that you could go into. It was like just like a quiet space that you could go. It was separate. It was on a different level, and you could just go in there and sit. There'd be snacks and other things. If you had questions about certain events that you were going to attend, that you were participating in, you could talk to people that were in there. And these were some of the things that I believe come with the gold pass. And so I had a book bag, and these things were in one of the book bags. And so there was a hat, there was sunglasses, just different things there. That hat ended up becoming apparently I wore it during a game show. It was kind of like sideways. I didn't even realize what was going on. But that space was really nice. So Pat was being very thoughtful when he had that space set aside. It was a nice large room. It was never so full that you couldn't have a seat, and the snacks and the drinks, that was easy as well. So like if you had a couple events that were close together and you didn't have time to go find food in the middle of the city, where you could come there, you could get yourself a snack, a drink, some fruit, get hydrated, take a minute, breathe, and then go back out and do that kind of stuff. Now I didn't have so many events that I had to do that kind of thing, but I tell you what, every time I went in that room, if there was a Danish, I was probably grabbing one of those. I was probably getting a drink. And so I definitely appreciated that part. Now, what was crazy, when we first went into the convention hall, it was about, I want to say it was about 9 o'clock that morning. We tried going in the previous night, but they shut it off. It was for employees or whatever. But that following morning, Friday morning, this was before everything was open up, you could get into the hall. And when I walked in there, the lady sees me, my wife, and the kids, and my wife pulls out her camera. She's wanting to just do like a little walk-in recording. And they're like, sorry, there's no recording in the convention hall. And we're like, what? We can't record here? It's like, yeah, it's just the rules for this place. You can't record. The only place you can take pictures are in front of, there was a backdrop for Card Party. Then there was like a Latios blow up. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way that will ever fly. But, we were the only ones in there. We walked around a little bit, and I see Loot. If you guys know Lootbox TV, Juice, he had a Pokemon channel. He still does some Pokemon, but he's more sports now. He was one of the first creators to ever visit my card shop, not the card shop that was public, but after I built this place where I'm recording this, he come there, and we talked for a minute. He wanted me to meet up with him to do something, but I think he had to fly out, and then he got me in contact with Andrew, but it just didn't line up with the stuff that I had going on with the convention. So, but he was nice as always. If you guys don't know Loot, go check him out. He started off doing loot boxes. It was like mystery boxes. So he was one of those guys that was first requesting the personalized mystery boxes, and I would make them. And then when he come here, I remember the very last Piezilla that I had that while he was here. So it's a huge 24-inch pizza, which that place is shut down now. So unfortunately I can't have any more Piezilla. But yeah, so this was this is before the convention ever started. We had to get stuff for, let's see. So I'll show these things here. So we had a creator pass. I didn't think I had mine, and then I went back through, and this was actually stuck in the bottom of my packet. So the one that I wore, I ended up sticking on backwards. I could never figure, I just wasn't doing it right. But they gave me another one because I was like, I have a gold one. They told me to put on the gold one, and then somebody else said, no, you need to put on the creator one. And I was like, well, where do I get that? And then they gave me one. But I actually had another one, so that's why this one is not broken off. And I'll explain what those are. And then this is like the little gold pass, which this was cool too. If you can get the gold pass, I don't know if they're sold out for Seattle. There's an extra section within where all of the vendors are that you can just separate yourself from the crowd. You can go sit down. There's also juice there. I think Pat did a really good job, if he's the one who did the layout, or whoever was helping him out, did a really good job of making sure that there was space and that there was additional space where you could get away from the crowd. I think that was great. It made things so much less stressful, especially for me, my wife, and when she was having to haul around the 3 kids because I was gone doing something else. There was just a way to step back, have a little space, breathe, let your kid have his tantrum, correct them, and then you can jump right back into it. So again, I can't say enough about that. Fantastic job. But that's what it looked like. I think there were some regular passes, and then there was a pass up from here that was elite that got like front row seating and some other cool stuff like that. But yeah, so this right here, going over this little pass, if you see, it has a Saturday pack and a Sunday pack. So I believe you got these with anybody who come into the show, whether it was a creator, you had a gold wristband or blue wristband or whatever. You had the Saturday pack and you had the Sunday pack, which allowed you to get in line over near the Beckett table, and they would give you a free pack. You would take that pack and you would go to the table and you would open it up. And if you pulled a hit that was like an EX or full art, you got a point. I believe SIRs, or no, illustration rares or art rares, then those were like 10 points, and then maybe they're 5 points. I can't remember. And if you got an SIR, it was even more gold cards. There was a point tier system, but you got a free pack. Everybody, all you had to do is get in line. You got a free pack. You should be like, hey, Team Ruby got, I don't think I've got my band here, but there was 2 teams. It was Team Ruby and Team Sapphire. And so you would earn a point for your team. Of course, you got to keep all of the cards. And so every person got 2 free packs. I mean, that's a lot of free packs just to give away, and you earned it for your specific team. So it was like a way that, you were helping out. Not only, you were getting packs for yourself, but you were helping out your team. Now, I will say my team did lose, but we made a good comeback there at the very end. Now, sometimes you would be able to get these right here. So these are like the cards. There was so many left over. I didn't have a chance to give away these last 3 packs, but these things were just sitting all over the place at the end of the show. You could have just went and grabbed probably a dozen packs if you wanted to. But so these were given to the creators on, I believe it was the first day, but I didn't notice until the second day. And these were just to give out to kids to help them just pursue towards, like, if you see right here, it's at a 13. So if you got 5 of these cards, then you could join the Whatnot app and you could enter into a giveaway for base set booster packs. So I thought that was really cool. You only had to get 5 out of 13 to enter, but there were 13 total cards. And so you could get them for different things, like You're a Good One, Selfless Spirit. Maybe that was for collecting. I think maybe that was trade night, or this one was trade night. You could get them in different places. And then at the very end, they were just kind of anywhere for anybody. If you showed up to the event late, or you just couldn't make it the first few days, you could find the cards laying around really anywhere so that you could enter into the giveaways. But these are really cool because it allowed me an opportunity to interact with a lot of people. So what I did on Saturday night is people would line up to get into the live event hall. There was main shows every single night, and people would start lining up about an hour early. And so the lines would just be, wrapped around everywhere. And since these right here were given out to the creators, like you could take as many as you wanted. They had these baskets full of just sealed bricks of them. And what I would do is I would take these cards and I would just walk up to people and I'd be like, hey, do you need any of these for the scavenger hunt? And so they'd be like, yeah. And so they take some of them. And every now and then it would just allow me to have an interaction with people, kind of talk with them. Most people didn't know who I was, which I completely get, but every now and then there would be somebody who did, and we get to just have an opportunity to talk. And they'd be like, yeah, I saw you walk around. I didn't want to talk, come up to you and bother you. But if you ever see me somewhere, trust me, you're not bothering me, unless I'm like in an intense discussion with my wife or kids. In that case, just give me a minute. I'll talk with you. Like, it does not bother me at all. All right, so let me get back over here. See what else we've got going on. All right, so this right here, this was a challenge that our family pursued. So this card party binder came with this. You can kind of see it in there, in that little card vault box at the back, but you can't see all of it. But I think there was a bigger one as well. It was like a 9x9. But this is a 2x2 or 3x3, a 9-page. This was a 2x2, 4-page. And so, let me zoom out. There we go. So you guys can see right here, this is the binder. And what I told my family is I want you guys to try to keep the cards, $10 or under. Some over is fine. But what I would like you to do is pick cards that you like, that you that you see that you like. Don't worry about whether or not it's a good deal. I mean, I did want them to at times to check the prices, but that's why I kept it on the lower end. Like they would ask me every now and then if it was okay to buy some certain cards, and they filled out the binder. So check it out. So I'm going to show you guys everything. Like these two, I did put some in here myself. Like these were from the Creator Card Tournament. I'll go over that here in a little bit. But I pulled this one, and this is the Build and Battle deck that I personally had. But you can see like they bought this Ninetales for $7. It may have been a little bit cheaper because there was some haggling going on and some deals made. I really like the Arcanine. I think that's a good deal for $6. And yeah, let me slide this over just a little bit. But you can see they picked out a lot of full arts. There's a rainbow. There's a gold card. Like that might be Korean or something. I don't think it's Japanese. But I think overall they did really good. So I'm going to just flip through here, let you guys kind of see all of the cards that my 2 daughters, my son, my wife, and then I picked out a few, but it was almost all those 4. They were picking out all these cards. You can see paid up a little bit on the Mew for $13, which I like that Mew. I think I have no idea if it's on point. I know the Ninetales is one of like the top 5 cards now in Obsidian Flames. I was checking that set out because we were trying to see what the values were for something I'm going to talk about here at the very end. And it was in the top ones. I think the Gold Charizard was 2. The Special Art Charizard was number 1. It was only like $50-some. So I guess that set is super affordable right now. Got a nice Wailord for $15. And as we got to the end, because they bought so many $1 to $5 cards in the beginning, I was definitely fine with them picking out a few more in the $10 plus range. Got a base set Pikachu to stick in here, so it wasn't all modern. I can't remember if I think I picked out 3 at the very end, a little bit more expensive. Oh yeah, I think I picked out the Shining Magikarp, the Birthday Pikachu, and I really like that Rocket's Ho-Oh. We'll talk about these here in a little bit too while they're in here, because this is kind of special for me. Now I was hoping to do some more pictures and videos. I believe my wife has a lot of that. She may be sharing it in time, but I wasn't able to retrieve a lot of that from her. All right, so back to Google Chrome. So that was the binder challenge that we kind of completed together. Here's my whole family. They got a picture with Pikachu. This is in the arts and crafts room. This room was amazing, like especially for families. My wife, if she wanted a break from everything, she could just go in here. It was quiet. It was separated. It was actually right next to the creator room, which made it even more convenient because I could go there and chill out as well. But they went in here. All the workers were super helpful. The kids could make their own binder design. They put stickers on there, kind of drew things. But you could sit down for a minute. And crazy enough, if you guys know Pokemon Classics, he brought his mom. And his mom started working the room just on the fly, and she was so nice. We got to meet a lot of people in there too. And I even got hungry one day and brought back a pizza, and we were able to just to sit to the side and eat the pizza in there. So this room was super chill and super open and available and accessible for families. So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, this is my family right here. This is of course Ash and Pikachu. They made an appearance, and when they make an appearance, you got to get a picture, right? All right, so this was our very first purchase. So back when we were looking at the very front of that binder, Ditto Dibs, they actually supplied a lot of those cards. They were so patient. Oh my goodness. My kids, when they come up to this table, they're like, hey, let's trade. And they smack down their binder, cover up the table. We're taking up the entire space. And the kids are just like, oh, I want that one. And they're like trying to yank the stuff out of the binder. I'm like, hold on, whoa, you're going to bend this card. They're like turning around away from the table. Like, no, turn back to the table. They need to see the cards. They just don't know the etiquette, at this point. This is the first time that they've ever been able to go to a show and not only buy some cards, but trade. So, and they were so patient. Ditto Dibs, that's their IG. Go check them out. They were so patient. Everyone that we ran into was very patient, but we stuck at their table probably for 15 minutes, and they weren't able to sell to anybody else other than us because of how much space we were taking up. But they did many trades, and what they did was they actually looked up the values and they showed it to my kids and be like, look, your card is worth this. you want to trade it for this, but you've actually still got some more value here. We'll give you another $9 in trade-in value. And then they end up giving them a $10 pack on top of that. And they were giving them very fair, almost full market values in trade for this stuff. So I definitely appreciated that. If you guys end up ever seeing this, I know we're in the middle of a Boring Channels video and a rant and talk, but I really appreciate it. You guys were great. Thank you for having patience with my kids, trading with them, showing them values, and then also selling to us as well, because they gave us a good deal on a lot of cards that we stuck into the binder. So congratulations on your customer service. It was top notch. All right, moving on to the next guy here. Nobody knows this guy, right? This is Mason with Cardinal Gaming. He's got some exciting news. I believe he has partnered with some other people, and I don't know if he's announced that yet, so or like what all that entails, so I'm not going to spoil it. But went over there, he sold me some cards. So him and Jake were sitting at the same table. He wasn't showing the cards, but maybe some of you guys can make it out there. That's an Ancient Mew. That's a Rayquaza, and then I'll show the other two here shortly. And we end up doing a little bit of content together later on in the show, in which I don't know if they're going to show all that. The very first thing that I participated in was the creator tournament. As you guys can see, I was the most popular guy there. They had to give me my whole section by myself so that I wouldn't be bothered. No, that's a joke. I'm a loner, I'm a natural loner, especially when I'm like trying to learn stuff. Like I have no problem sitting by myself in a corner and falling asleep or doing nothing. Like it does not bother me at all. However, there were some people who come over here to sit and help. This is just an out of context type deal. But you got Twice Baked Jake right there. Is that Gonzo? I'm not too sure. I don't typically watch Deep Pocket Monsters videos, but I believe he's like one of their main characters there. You got Robo here. Over here you've got I believe his name is Trevor. Super nice guy. And then there's several other creators that were in this tournament. There were 16 of us in all. And the very first game I actually played Dan TCG. I think that was his name, or Pokey Dan. It was something like that. And he was really helpful. I was half a turn away from beating this guy. Apparently he's been playing in the TCG like his whole life. So, but I went to pull out my Tyranitar from the deck because I played Pupitar. Tyranitar would come out of the deck, and I had two of them in the deck, but they were both in my 4 prizes. So it was like, not only did I just waste that turn and that move, I don't even have the Tyranitar, so I ended up getting knocked out the next turn. But I still almost made a comeback with the Ethan's Typhlosion. We had gotten down to where I would win the next turn, but he played a Gyarados, so he also had me on weakness, and the Gyarados was able to do 70 damage, which doubled because it was a Typhlosion. So, and the Typhlosion had 170 HP, and then he had to mill the top 7 cards of his deck, and if there were 2 cards that had Misty in the name, it would be enough to knock out my Typhlosion. So he mills them 1, 2, 3. He gets 1 in the first 6 cards, and then the very last card, if he gets it, he wins. If he doesn't get it, then I'm going to win. 7th card, bam! It was like a Misty Starmie. I think it might have been a Starmie. He mills it off the top of the deck, knocks out my Typhlosion, wins. So I start off with a loss in the tournament. Now, game number 2, I'm with the losers, and then there's the winners, and you got everybody who's playing each other. I had to play up to a winner, Alex Ketchum, and man, super nice guy. Wow, dude, that dude, he was so nice, so helpful, and very genuine. Like he just seemed like he was just having so much fun at this place. And so I play him, and I'm down right away. Like he's controlling me for the first 2/3 of the match. And so I take a risk, and I'm like, all right, I just got to shuffle everything into the deck. Jim Mint comes and sits beside me, touches the deck after I shuffle it. I'm like, I need you for good luck. And I need a Tyranitar. I have to draw a Tyranitar, or I don't even have a chance. And so I pull off the cards, and there it is. I get a Tyranitar, throw it down, and now I'm back in the game. And I ended up winning that game. So now I'm 1-1, and I play a kid named Ian. And so he's like 11 years old. He just come in as like an extra because we were missing some spots. And so I'm playing Ian, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna completely win this game because I start off really strong. I'm going at it, and he plays this card that, because I knocked out one of his Team Rocket cards, I had to shuffle my entire back in there and draw 3 cards, and he gets to draw 5. And that, it just completely turned the tide of the game. Um, he plays a Tyranitar, and he didn't know what it actually did. And so I'm like helping him out, and I play a Buddy Buddy Poffin and put 3 basics on my bench. And I didn't realize also that the Tyranitar deals 20 damage between each turn to each basic. And so all 3 of these basics I have 70 HP. And I don't have any of my evolutions for the cards anymore because they were all shuffled back into the deck. And so he evolves into Tyranitar. Between turns, it does 20 damage to all 3 of them. I go to knock out another one of his Pokemon. I take another 20 damage on all 3 of my basics. Now it's his turn. He knocks out one of my Pokemon, ends his turn, does another 20 to each one of my basics. So now I've had one Pokemon knocked out, and I've got 3 basics on the bench with 60 HP. And I can't beat him the next turn to end it, and it's over. And it's like, because I scooped out, I was like, you win. He's like, what are you talking about? I still got 3 prizes. I'm like, your Pokemon. It knocks out all 3 of my basics. So he beat me literally in like 5 turns. I mean, it was so quick. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And so that put me like near the bottom of the entire tournament. And at that point, the tournament's over except for, I believe there were 3 undefeateds at that point, or 2 undefeateds. And they battle it out, and I believe Team Sapphire ends up winning it. So my first tournament was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't do very well. I think I came in 9th out of 16. So I didn't even make the top 8, and there were 2 or 3 people that didn't even show up. So I was near the very bottom, but I had a lot of fun. And I think I had the very best deck that you could get out of those. So I had everything going for me before I started, except for the fact that I didn't know a lot of the cards. But I was really getting used to it. I remember why I loved playing the TCG. It was something that was fun. And during this whole time, my wife is there. She's there with the kids, and they're actually learning to play the game at another table. There were workers that were there teaching kids how to play the game, being very patient with them. My wife bragged on that guy so many times. I mean, every time we went by, she was like, that was the guy. He was super kind. Did I tell you that guy? He was very patient with our kids, and so definitely appreciated that. All right, meet and greet. So I had a meet and greet session, as you can see. I had a long line. People were they just couldn't wait to get over there. I showed up a little bit early, so at this time there was nobody there. There weren't even workers there yet for Card Party, because they have workers that come over there, kind of help out, bring hold up meet and greet signs. And then those 3 cards sitting on the table, those were the ones that I wanted to give away, because they were given to the creators to give away. Now, it did speed up. I got to meet quite a few people. It was actually really nice, because I had a binder there. They could pick through the binder off to the side, and I would have a conversation with somebody. A few people wanted pictures. I got to have quite a few conversations with the staff as well. And right beside of me was Island Grown, so he's way bigger than I am. So a lot of people would go over to Island Grown, and then they wouldn't even come by me. And it's like, I get it. I mean, I probably wouldn't either if I didn't know who that dude was. But I will say this. Classics, he come by, and he did a video with me where he actually asked me a few questions. And he saved the Charizard for me, his childhood Charizard, to sign. And then the questions he gave me, I mean, they were pretty easy. We talked about it. I'm sure he'll have content come out about it eventually. But Matt was one of the guys that I was in contact with almost throughout the entire event. We were kind of in the same places, same locations. He's very chill in the background, super nice, and I had some good conversations with him. I hope to see more of him in person. If you guys have never watched Pokemon Classics, his channel is, I mean, it's like top notch. It's a lot of really good editing. His intro is amazing, and he's always super helpful and very kind. All right, next up, this was towards the end of the show. These are all like 3D printed type things, and then he goes through, he custom paints them. That Lucario there was actually for Pokebeard, and Pokebeard is the one who sent me this guy's direction. This guy, his prices were fantastic for large pieces, and he's actually going to make a few custom pieces for me, hand deliver them, construct them, and paint them, because they're so large they can't really be shipped. So I am very excited to see where that goes, and I can't wait to reveal it to you guys, or we may reveal it on another channel. All right, and I think that's it for the pictures that I have. Like I said, I didn't take but a few pictures. It was mostly my wife, but I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that I bought there, and then I'm going to talk about a few more of the experiences that I had at Card Party. And then I know I told you guys we're going to have a big announcement at the very end. I'm still going to show that to you. You just got to give me, we're going to do that at the very end. All right, so I picked up this guy here, Kabutops. I can't remember the exact price I paid. because I see 700 and I think 700, but actually I come down some. It was not quite 700, mainly because I think there was like a little white dot in that top corner. But I thought it was a pretty good deal for a pristine Sky Ridge Hollow, and so we made a deal there. I picked these two up, I want to say for 130, and I got them over at Ray's table. I thought this was just a really cool looking Misty's Psyduck, and then of course you guys know that I like that artwork on the Charizard. Now these right here, I got these for my children. So on the last day I was like, you know what? I want to get my kids all a base set Charizard for this event. And my goal was, the very first one I picked up was actually from Mason and Jake. I picked it up for 500. I didn't do any haggling. I was really there just to pick out some cards that I thought were a fair deal and to support them, because I really like those guys. I ended up buying a Charizard, and here are the other cards that I bought off of them. Got the Glaceon Level X. I've always liked Glaceon Level X from that set. Then we've got the Rayquaza V, and we have an Ancient Mew. So I picked up all of those, and one of the Charizards as well. And then the other two, I had a goal for myself. I was like, you know what? Let's actually make this a challenge. I want to get one for each of my kids. Charizard, exactly, base set, exactly near mint 10 or near mint 7, not gem mint 10. And there's no such thing as a near mint 10. So near mint 7. But I had a goal to get them for $425, which is $75 less than the other one. But I bet, I could have haggled a little bit with these guys if I had chose to do that. But I was able to find one right off the bat. And then it took so many tables, because I found another base set Charizard in 7 condition, but the guy did not want to split it because he had a Blastoise and a Venusaur. Those were both 8s, and the Charizard was 7, but they were sequential, so he didn't want to split them up. Then I almost bought another Charizard in 7. I didn't realize right off the bat that because it was priced right at $425. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that. But then I was like, wait a minute, that's Spanish. Okay, sorry, I don't want the Spanish one. I'm looking for English. And then at the very next table, this was about, it had to be at least 50 tables in, I was able to find another one. They had I think they had it marked $440, and I was able to negotiate it down to $425, because that was the price that I was paying. So my kids all have a base set Charizard now. All right. So also during the event, I didn't show the main event stage, but this was something really cool that happened. So the one time that I was up on stage, I was doing Family Feud, and I will say we did lose. Apparently one of the Pokemon, the top 5 answers for Pokemon that you run away from is Mr. Mime. We got the top 4 or top 5, might have been out of 6. And then it went to the other side. This was the final round. And Nate's like, we've got this. We've talked about it. We've got this. Mr. Mime. And I'm like, as soon as he said Mr. Mime, I'm like, we win. There's no way. Because, they turned down like Darkrai, Guzzlord, like all these scary Pokemon. But then Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime was it. So they ended up winning. I talked with them afterwards, and Danny and Nate actually said, oh, it was Leonhard. He's the one who figured it out. He's the one who said, it's got to be Mr. Mime. And it made sense, I guess, from the Detective Pikachu movie. At the very end of Family Feud, they called up the winners for the booster packs from Team Ruby and Sapphire so that they could be opened up on stage. But something crazy happened. Team Sapphire won every one of the random selections. There was nobody from Team Ruby. So Pat's like, all right, I'm going to call up some random people for Team Ruby. And he picks 3 kids out of the crowd. 2 of those kids were my daughters. And they come up on stage, and they're on my side because I'm on Team Ruby. So I get to see them open. Now, I wasn't the one. Yeah, I think it was Sarah. She opened it up with basically Marie. And then Emma, that's my oldest daughter, I think Jim Mint was working with her. And then I'm kind of like off to the side, but I can see it all happening. And my daughter, Sarah, bless her heart, she opens up the pack, and everybody's supposed to be waiting because he's going to do it all on camera. And bam, she's like looking at it, and I immediately see she's got a Dragonair. It's like the best rare, but we know that she didn't actually get a holo, and she like puts them back in there. I'm like, all right, no, we're not supposed to do that. So, and Marie, she's over there trying to get all the stuff, back together. And we get the cards arranged so that the Dragonair's in the back. You got the uncommons, and I don't think many people notice because the camera's on Team Sapphire side. It's over there. Everybody's reacting. Somebody pulls a Venusaur, then somebody pulls a Mewtwo on our side, and neither one of my daughters get a hit. But it was just really cool to see that just happen randomly. I mean, there's no way that you could have scripted it any better for me as a father, anyways. Unless they pull a Charizard or something crazy. But they get to open up these base set packs on stage while I'm standing up there. The only time I'm standing up there, and the only time that people are randomly selected out of the crowd to come open up base set packs. So I was on cloud nine. That was really cool. The kids loved it. Of course, my son's like, well, I didn't get picked. But I want him to just understand that, it was all random, and be happy for your sister. So you're going to have moments like that. And that was one where he had to just be happy for them. But we all got to do a pack battle that night or Saturday night. And it was, that was a lot of fun too. That actually inspired my wife, along with talking with and watching some videos from like Powder and Alex Ketchum and listening to Deep Pocket Monster, to start her own channel. So this is the big announcement. So my wife has started a channel. She's got her YouTube, her Instagram, her TikTok, all that stuff. Pokey Family, and it's like Oak as in like OAK, like our last name. So I'm going to show that. See if I can pull it up. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. So it's the Pokey Family, and she's already made a few videos, and I'm going to talk about the giveaway here in a minute and something that's going to be added to it. So she challenged our family to do a video every single day, a pack battle video every single day. And what we're going to do is each one of us is going to open up a pack, and then whoever, and say I pull a hit, my wife pulls a hit, nobody else pulls a hit. If I pull a hit, I get a point. My wife pulls a hit, she gets a point. And so she's going to keep up with all of the hits. We're just doing it by number of hits, not quality or value or anything. We're just going to keep it simple. And this way it might make the race a lot closer too, because if somebody pulls a crazy big hit, then the game might be over. But if you can enter into a giveaway, but what you have to do is you have to pick a team. There's Team John, there's Team Sarah, there's Team Emma, there's Team Anna, and then there's Team Dad, Rusty. Right here. This is where you should pick, even though I'm not in the lead right now. But pick your team, and then at the end of the month, every hit that was pulled by everybody is being stuck into a binder. It's going to be given away to a winner from one of the winning picks. So, like if you pick Team John, but Team Sarah wins, just the people who chose Team Sarah will be chosen. That'll be the pool for the winner of all of the prizes. So, like, if we go to, let me see if I can get in here now. So like this is the first video right here, and I can't remember what was all pulled, but we start off with a little intro, and we go through and we just show all the hits, and then at the very end there's like a winner for like that day. I believe Anna, my wife, won that day because I think she pulled an illustration rare and an Arbok from the 151 pack, so she got 2 hits right off the bat. And then she's putting in her stories the winners, or like so like right now the standings are John has 2 hits, we've got Sarah, Emma, and so you can see the hit numbers right there. But I think you have to enter by the 20th. But like I said, you'll get all of the hits, and we're not just doing modern. We may open up some vintage as well. So if we get hits from there or some older packs, all of anything that's considered like a hit, we're going to put in there. Now, for like the newer sets where you're guaranteed a holo, we're not counting that as a hit. But like some of the older sets, it changes, a little different. And all of those will be going into the binder. All of them will be shipped to one winner at the end of 31 days. And if it goes well, she's going to continue doing the pack battles, or we may pivot to something else. But I know that what she would like to do is have a video put out every single day for a year, as many other creators have done. Now, it would not surprise me if my wife, who has never done any of this kind of stuff, it surpasses my channel in subscribers within a year. You guys know I'm pretty boring. I don't edit much, but I know that she is right now. She's pretty fired up about doing it right, making it better. Right now, everything's kind of, it's just in the beginning stages. You guys give her encouragement. if you have tips, advice, any of that stuff, I know that she would love it because she's the one managing the channel. Like I am in there, I'm opening up a pack as well, but she's doing it for our family, but she's the one who's taking care of it. Now, that's the huge announcement. I'm going to tell you how you can enter into this. What I'm also going to do is I bought some packs off of Gem Mint while we were there. So let me show you guys those. I bought 10 unweighed fossil booster packs. So these are completely unweighed. I've got an extra Lapras artwork. That one looks a little bit more poofy, so we'll save that pack right there. I'm going to add this to the giveaway for the first month. So for all of you who are going to come in here and try to support my wife's Pokey family and watch the videos, enter the giveaway, we're going to make it a little bit more juicy for this first month. This will be shipped sealed. You can have this sealed pack. You can open it yourself, or if you want me to open it up in a video, do that kind of old style heavy vintage opening pack, I'll do that for you. But if you are the winner, you can get this pack completely sealed. It is unweighed. I haven't weighed it. Jim Min didn't weigh it because he's told me some unweighed packs, and we have pulled 2 hollows out of the 10 packs so far. So I can verify 2 out of 6 packs we did get 2, or yeah, 2 out of 6 of the packs that we opened up did have a hollow. So this has a chance to have a hollow in it. It's vintage. It's first edition fossil pack. We're going to add that to the binder, to the list of giveaways. But here's how you can enter. So if you go back to Instagram, you can see this right here. I'm going to provide a link down in the description for you. But you can see this says Pokey Family. So it's just take Poke, but put an A in there instead of, because you're not doing the tilde thing. I don't want to mess with Pokemon. This actually says Pokey, but it's like a play on words still. Pokey Family. Come here. You need to. She's got a link tree that actually takes you to where you can pick your team, and then if you would, I would like you to. This is my request to you because I can't make you do this. Once you enter here, like you'll be entered into the giveaway. If you would just go to her TikTok, follow her there, Instagram. Follow her there. YouTube, subscribe to her there. 1, 2, 3. And then if you really want to show some support, actually go watch a video on Instagram and maybe tag some people in in the giveaway video. So this one has the giveaway details. And if you just come in here and just be like, great giveaway, and tag a few people, that will really help support. You could share the video. These are ways of getting it out there. Of course, it's to your own detriment because the more people that actually share the video and tag other people and subscribe, the more people that are actually going to be in the giveaway, so you're going to have a less chance of winning. But if you would support us in that way, it's just a request. I would ask that of you. And I appreciate all of you who have already reached out and given advice, like Classics, Chef. I know Alex Ketchum said he was going to do some cool stuff. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you who stuck around through this whole video so you can get down to this very last thing where the big announcement was, if you missed it, Pokey Family, it's a new family channel. My wife is heading it up. But there's also a giveaway, and she's going to be doing more giveaways as we go. I'm the one supplying her with the packs, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about all the packs that are going to be opened up. There's 5 of us, 5 packs every day, so that's 155 packs that are going to be opened up. Every single one of the hits are going to be stuck in a binder and given away to the pool from the winning team. And then I'm throwing in this Fossil First Edition pack as a bonus for this very first giveaway, and who knows what we're going to have going on in the future. And any support that you can show for my wife's new channel, for our family at Pokey Family, it would be much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing where she goes in the future, as well as the winners and what happens there. As always, you guys have a great day.